Hello everyone and welcome to the Return to Play, the mental side presentation. Today we'll be talking about the phase of Return to Play from a mental side standpoint and how to effectively use mental training skills to not only speed up the recovery process but also to increase your motivation, resiliency and confidence levels during and after the Return to Play period. Our plan for today will be to discuss Jackson's journey through his return to play period and describe the SISU framework for RTP, in which we'll do a specific mental training exercise to foster each of the three critical mental skills required to successfully perform: motivation, confidence, and resilience. Jackson is a professional soccer player I had the chance to work with during this past year. After playing for Wright State University during his college career, he went on to sign in his first professional contract with Chattanooga Red Wolves FC. After his first year in the league, due to the COVID situation and having to deal with a new knee injury, he got released by the team. The doctors, after this new injury, having to face a total of 4 knee injuries so far in his career, told him that the expected recovery was between 4 to 6 months. We started working together with the objective of improving his pain tolerance, quality of life during the rehabilitation process, as well as reducing the risk of re-injury while we aim to speed up the recovery process. After 6 months and a ton of mental and physical work, he was able to sign a new contract with Northern Colorado Halmstrom FC, where he's actually playing professional soccer again in the USL League One. We work consistently for 12 weeks, during which we design a specific mental training plan according to his needs, based on promoting his resiliency, motivation, and confidence levels. So we could create a scenario in which he could be consistent and effective during his return to play process. I'll be discussing a mental training exercise for each of the psychological skills for the rest of this presentation. Motivation can be defined as the process that guides and affects our behavior. It describes the reasons why we do something. Commonly, the main motivation to stick to a return to play process and go through the rehab is the motivation that coming back to playing brings us. The ACT backward exercise is an effective way to promote that motivation feeling during the duration of our return to play journey. It is said that extraordinary people live their life backward. They first accept their current situation, then they create a future, and then they live by it. This is exactly what this exercise is about: accepting our current starting point, creating a desired state, and taking action steps that will take us closer to accomplishing our goals. Accepting our current situation does not mean resignation, but refers to the process of embracing thoughts, emotions, and other internal experiences without judgment and without trying to change them. Being able to face the fact that we'll have to be out of our sport for a specific period of time will allow us to focus our energy on those factors that we can control. It will not only help us pay attention to the things that we need to take care of on a daily basis, such as our nutrition, rehab schedule, our strength and conditioning exercises, but also will bring us the peace and calmness of knowing that we cannot keep dwelling on those what ifs, I wish scenarios, such as I wish I would be playing right now, only if I would have done that, maybe I wouldn't be injured. Accepting means that we're able to deal with the cards that we have. This is similar to a poker game. You have two options: whether you can complain about the cards that you are dealt with, or you can try to make the most out of that play. And this is what we want to try to do during our return to play period. Make the most out of each day. After we have accepted our current situation, we need to start thinking about our desired state. What does your dream look like? What does your comeback journey look like? What are the things that you need to do to be able to come back? Maybe taking care of your nutrition, of your sleep, sticking to the rehab, spending extra time on your fitness and strength and conditioning training. Who do you need to ask for help? Maybe your athletics training to get a better understanding of the physical process of your injury. Maybe your strength and conditioning coach, your teammates, your coaches. Surround yourself with the people that you know you can count on. Also, be as specific as you can during this step, as it will help you keep yourself motivated during your return to play journey. Finally, it is time for you to take action steps towards that goal, towards that dream, towards that return to play process. Once we have accepted our current situation and created our desired future state, it is time to take action. It is time to show up for rehab. It is time to talk to your family, friends, coaches about how you feel and create your own social support group. It is time to eat the right food. It is time to get the right amount of sleep. It is time to keep your motivation high so you can have a positive experience during your journey and you can speed up the recovery process. It is definitely time that you take specific steps that will help you get you closer to your goal. Confidence is the ability to believe in yourself. It is the conviction that one has about the ability to meet life and sports challenges. It is the belief that one has the internal and external resources to succeed. Behavioral training, cognitive behavioral training, and specifically the ABC exercise is meant to help you increase your confidence levels. Before we get into cognitive behavioral training, it is important that we understand the difference between emotions and feelings. Emotions originate as sensations of the body and they are objective. Feelings, on the other hand, are influenced by our emotions but generate from our own mental thoughts. Here you have two examples to help you understand the difference. Frustration is a feeling branching from the emotion anger, while shame is a feeling branching from the emotion sadness. This distinction is important to understand because while we cannot control our emotions, we can influence our feelings. Everyone that goes through an injury will experience the emotion of sadness, which is completely normal and expected because we want to play. However, cognitive behavioral training helps us understand that we can influence our feelings. While someone might feel miserable of having to go through an injury and in consequence affect their emotional state on how they face the rehabilitation process, another athlete might feel proud of the fact that they are effectively meeting their goals during the rehab process, which will translate into an optimal emotional state that will positively affect the recovery process. Two athletes, two options. Another important factor and distinction that we need to consider when we talk about cognitive behavioral training is the difference between thoughts and beliefs. Thoughts are the mental processes that involves the manipulation of information. This way, we're able to form concepts, engage in problem solving, reason, and make decisions. On the other hand, a belief is information that you understand as truth or knowledge. This distinction is critical to understand because while we cannot control our conscious thoughts, the information that we get from the environment and from our internal processes, we can work on our beliefs and we have the ability to change what we believe is true about the world around us. As we can see on the example, two athletes might receive the same information, thoughts, about feeling pain after the first day back with the team. However, one consciously chooses to say it as a way of their body getting used to the training load instead of dwelling on the pain sensations. As we can see, our beliefs impact and can control and return to play process and decrease or increase our confidence levels during our journey. On this slide, we have a clear picture of what CBT looks like. Our thoughts can influence our behaviors and feelings. Our feelings influence our behaviors and thoughts, and consequently, our behaviors influence our feelings and thoughts. Taking the example of the previous slide, if you are able to talk and congratulate yourself about the fact that you were able to complete the training session regardless of some pain that you might have felt, and you can talk to yourself into the fact that you need time to get used to the new training load, consequently, you will increase your confidence levels as well as the likelihood of increasing your motivation and positive feelings that will help you perform at your best in the next training session. The first day of training is something that really troubled a lot of athletes, including Jackson. It is a very exciting moment, but at the same time, it's very challenging because you're exposing yourself to a new environment again for the first time after weeks or months. When I worked with Jackson, we talked about his responsibility of choosing one of the paths. The first path gets you into getting caught into those negative thoughts, such as I will feel pain, if I feel pain, I'll have to quit for the session, all the rehab process is not worth it, etc. And these thoughts, if you let them in, they can turn into the belief that you might not be able to come back after all into playing. This will most likely get you to the point where you will give up trying because you are not trusting yourself and you think that all the work that you put in so far is pointless. On the other hand, as we can see in the example below with Cristiano Ronaldo, you can choose to, regardless of having all those negative thoughts, challenge them and talk to yourself into the mindset of, you know what, regardless of how this session goes, regardless of the pain that I feel, I know I have been working hard. I know this is part of the process. I know that my body is strong enough to go through this session. And I know I will get used to this new training load. This thinking will foster your confidence levels and will put you into the best position mentally and physically. Resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity or a significant source of stress. It is the ability to maintain performance while under pressure. Resilient athletes view dips as a form of an opportunity to grow. The choice point is an exercise that will help us foster our resilience levels. So now, let's get into the choice point activity. I'll outline how the activity works, and then in the next slide, we'll describe a specific example on how to use it. In the top of this diagram, we have our way and towards, which describe our behaviors. Toward are those behaviors that you commit when you see a stressful situation as an opportunity to grow. Away are those behaviors that prevent you from maintaining performance while under pressure. In the bottom half of this diagram, we have hooks and helpers, which are the thoughts that lead you to the behaviors. While hooks are specific negative thoughts, helpers are positive thoughts that can foster our resilience levels. We'll begin on the left-hand side of the slide with our hooks and our way behaviors. Hooks, as we described it previously, are those negative thoughts patterns that are creeping in when an athlete faces a stressful or challenging situation. I can't wait for this to be over, I'm not good enough to be here, what if I injure myself again? If the athlete chooses to pay attention to these thoughts, they will lead them out to their away behaviors, such as not showing up to the rehab training sessions, dwelling on mistakes or setbacks, or avoiding taking action during the game or the return to play process. Now, if they are able to identify that they have a choice, that they can consciously choose the type of thoughts they listen to, this is when the helpers come in. If you are able to listen to that voice that says, trust the process, remember why you're here, remember your previous success, and use those positive affirmations that will help you keep going. These thoughts will help the athlete move forward towards their toward behaviors, focusing on each play, on each exercise, on each rehab exercise, developing a clear and sharp thinking during the game, maybe asking for the ball in the case of soccer, or fighting for the ball in every single action that requires you to. The whole point of this exercise is to help you understand that regardless of the tough situation you are going through, you have the opportunity to choose the type of thoughts that you listen to, as well as the behaviors that will get you closer or away from your goal. On this slide, you can see one of the log sheets that I use with Jackson as a way of keeping track of his progress during the mental training program. Training the mind requires the same time and effort that the strength training requires to increase your muscle mass, your strength, and your speed. It requires you to develop accountability so that we can put ourselves in the best pose possible to increase our confidence, motivation, and resiliency levels effectively. That way, we make sure that we're able to speed up the recovery process, that we are more calm during those setbacks that we are most likely willing to face during the recovery process, but they also keep us in track of the things that we need to focus on so we can choose where to put our energy, our own attention, so we can get closer to getting back on the field. Finally, as you can see on this slide, it is important that we constantly remember ourselves, who we are, what we stand for, and why is it worth for us to go through the rehabilitation process, so we can foster those positive emotions during the duration of a rehabilitation process. What kind of athlete are you? What type of person are you? What do you stand for? These are the kind of questions that Jackson and me work during our time working together. So we came to the conclusion that he was someone that was able to bounce from different setbacks. He was able to see challenges as an opportunity to grow, to thrive in any difficult situations. He was able to understand what can and can be controlled, so he learned where to focus his energy. He was also able to identify emotions as information, which allowed him to create a space between himself and those negative emotions. And he was also able to take action to what was important for him, as well as adapting himself to what the situation required of him. Meaning, if he had to go through a lot of setbacks, right, during his last recovery. After 4 knee surgeries, you have to be able to deal with a lot of negative thinking. The fact if you are gonna be able to come back or not, what's your level gonna be like once you are back again. So again, you need to make sure that you train the mental side of the game, so you put yourself in the best spot possible to perform. Really happy that Jackson got to sign that professional contract with him, and he put a lot of work on the mental side of the game, on the physical side of the game. He really crushed it, and yeah, this is an example for you guys to see what it takes you to work on the mental side of the game for that long, but at the same time getting that award of actually playing football again and being able to accomplish his dreams. So this is it, guys, for the presentation of Return to Play, the mental side. I hope you enjoyed it and that you were able to take a lot of valuable information I'm 100% sure that it's going to help you during any kind of rehabilitation or return to pay process that you might have to go through. And it will also help you if you're going through any type of setback, or even if you're doing great and everything is going great for you in your sport. It can also help you get you ready for what's coming in the next following years, or when things don't go your way. And I'm 100% sure that being able to foster those motivation, confidence, and resiliency levels will put you in the best spot possible to reach the best version of yourself, regardless of the situation that you're facing. So, if you have any questions about the content of this presentation or any of the mental training skills discussed, feel free to reach out. You can also check our website where we have a blog where we talk about mental training and how to use this skill in a sport context. And also feel free to reach out to us through Instagram or follow our account so you can stay updated on mental training skills and how they can help you reach your sports goal. Thank you guys and have a great day.